Y'all know I've been sitting here talking for like a whole minute and I thought y'all heard me. I thought y'all heard me, but hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to the Love Talk podcast with me, your host, Shantae. My two co-hosts cannot be here today, but we always want to give a shout out and show some love to Miss Janaea Yvonne and Queen Unique. Them ladies are absolutely amazing. This was another last minute episode, one I didn't plan on doing, but certain circumstances and situations is what has drawn me here today. And again, it wasn't planned for, but this is a conversation that definitely needs to be held. It's something that needs to be talked about. And I'm not going to lie to you, because of the current situation and the circumstances that I'm going through surrounding this topic, I had to pray before I got up here, because I didn't want to come up here being malicious, coming off as vindictive, or like I'm bashing people, because I'm not. That's not what I'm doing at all. That's not the case of today's episode. It would be easy for me to do that, and easy for me to snap, and easy for me to go off and to do all those things. But This is not about the the people who are involved in this situation. I'm not going to make it about them. I'm not going to do that at all. The name of this topic is called See You at the Bank. Unbothered. I named it that because the enemy believes that if he keeps coming for us and keep coming for us and keep coming for us and keep coming for us, that will make us yell defeat, that he can stop what it is that God wants to do in our life. And I'm here to say, do not yell defeat. Do not let the enemy and his minions try to stop whatever it is that God is telling you to do in your life, that is calling you to do. He is calling you to do. Things for me have been very, very difficult. Very difficult. Only people who are close to me know the situations of what is going on in my life. But since I stepped out on faith and stepped into the will of God, things have been hitting me left and right. Almost to the point where I was considering just leaving the love talk alone altogether. But God keeps giving me confirmation after confirmation after confirmation after confirmation that I need to keep going with the podcast, that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Even giving me fresh new ideas on where the love talk can go. And I'm so excited for that. But you know, as God gives revelation, the enemy comes with temptation. And part of the temptation for me has been the irritation. Has been the irritation that I have gotten from situations and people who I thought I was close to and would have never in a million years would have ever thought of falling out with. There was one particular person that I spoke of in the Monitoring Spirits episode who did catch wind of that episode, by the way. I never mention any names because I don't want nobody coming for me. You know, I don't want nobody saying, all right, we're going to take the love talk to court. So I don't never mention names, but they know who they are. And with that being said, again, I knew there was that person who I needed to cut off. I should have cut that person off a long time ago. But I held on to the idea of this person being in my life because I felt a bond with this person. So much so to even where at one point I've called her a sister. She's been like a sister. Even a best friend. But God has shown me very, very quickly and a lot more recently how even the ones that are closest to you, who you think that you are just so tight and so cool with, is really not there for your come up, but they're there only to be a part of your downfall. They're there to only be a part of your downfall. And if you don't be careful, there's people around you who are used as vessels, not of the Lord, but of the enemy, to stop you from moving forward. To stop you from really stepping out into the will of God and what he has for your life. The enemy's plan is to kill, steal, and destroy. And anything that is of God, he hates. So with that being said, you always want to be careful about who's around you. And always not only look at their actions, but listen to what they're saying. See, I would just let people say things and brush it off because, oh, I know them. Oh, they would never hurt me. And come to find out, it's those same people that are close to you that are on a mission, not from God. They're on a mission from the enemy to stop you what God wants to do in your life. So again, I could come up here and I could be malicious and vindictive and things like that. But I'm not going to do that. That's not in me. It's not in my character. It's not Shantae. However, I will say that I see you looking, I see you watching, I notice you noticing me. I'm paying attention. You wanted my attention and now you have it. And so, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's episode of the live stream of the Love Talk podcast. It is me, your host, Shantae. My co host can be here today. But this is the Love Talk where we talk about everything love, relationships, situationships, family ships, entanglements, everything. We talk about healing, healing from traumatic experiences. We talk about breakthroughs, come ups. We give testimonies. And most importantly, we're here so that you know that you are not alone, no matter who it is that you are. You are not alone. The Love Talk podcast has your back. And if you ever need to come on and just vent, if you have a story you want to tell, you are always welcome. And so anyway, with that being said, let's jump into today's episode. All right, 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 all right. Hello, 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 hello. Hola, konnichiwa. What else? Bonjour and all that other good stuff. All right, y'all. So today the name of the topic is called "See You at the Bank Unbothered." As I mentioned in the first part, I really had to pray before I got up here because of the current situations, which I talked a little bit about in the last episode of Monitoring Spirits. And I'm going to, it also brought me to today's episode. I'm not going to say I'm going to talk about that whole thing because if you want to know any of what happened or even just a little bit of it, you have to go back and listen to that episode. I am not going to keep reliving and talking about the same situation. And really, the Monitoring Spirits episode was just to say, hey, there are people who are close to you, or sometimes they're not even close to you. They actually might just even be strangers, but the enemy has vessels, minions, people that he sends on a mission to distract you, to kill your destiny, to stop what it is that God wants to do in your life. And since I have been focusing fully on the Love Talk podcast, he has come for me extremely hard. Very, very hard. Like he has come for me back to back to back to back to back to back to back. And sparing no expense at all. Absolutely not sparing any expense. Um Last Thursday, I cried because of the situation that had happened between me and a close family member. And I immediately went, almost immediately after crying, went from sad to angry. Got very, very frustrated. And that situation took up a lot of my time. Up until yesterday, it took up a lot of my time. Well, maybe Sunday. And no, yesterday. I'll say yesterday. And it took up so much of my time that I was losing sleep. I had lost sleep, losing focus on other things that I was supposed to be doing and working on because it almost seemed like it was constant, like it was constantly something going on. And because it was something constantly going on, I was not doing all of what I needed to do, which is not okay. It wasn't till last night where the situation started to become a problem again. It had started to arise again where I was starting to get frustrated. I was starting to get angry. I was really ready to go off. I had to pray. I stopped and I prayed and I said, God, before I go there, this makes no sense. There's got to be something else in this situation that I'm missing. And God started to reveal some things to me that He had already revealed to me before, but I did not want to believe. And one of the things was a while ago, about a year ago, when I let a friend, a past friend, stay with me. God kept saying, "You're in danger." He kept telling me, and it was coming to me through dreams. And God is just like, "You're in danger, you're in danger, you're in danger." And I'm like, "Lord, what are you like?" No, I'm not. I don't hang around nobody. I don't kick it with nobody. I'm a mother. I work. I take care of my kids. I take care of my house. That's it. Work, kids, house. I don't really deal with nobody. I don't really have a social life. But it was this friend, ex friend, who was staying with me at that time and was the only person it could have been. But I did not want to believe it was her. And it wasn't till yesterday, last night, where God brought that back up to me. And I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I had to change my approach. I had to change my mind frame. I had to change how I looked at the situation. It's easier to be upset and mad at the people who have put you, or you felt like has put you in certain situations. It's too easy to be upset, too easy to be mad at those people. And as badly as I wanted to be, I had to put myself in a spot where I had to separate the sin from the sinner. I had to separate the sin from the sinner. And then I also had to remember that myself at one point allowed the enemy to use me as a vessel. And so I had to keep those things in mind because it would be easy to again be upset and to let these people drain our energy, to give them our energy. That's too easy. That's exactly what the enemy wants us to do. He wants us to play into that irritation. He wants us to play into that anger. He wants us to do those things because then it's taking us away and the focus away from God and our relationship with the Lord and what we're supposed to be doing and putting it on things that really don't matter at all. And so I'm like, okay, it would be easier if I did soak in that and I was so upset and frustrated that I am not doing what I'm supposed to do what the Lord is calling me to do, but at what cost? At what cost would I, I mean, what would I be losing? What would I be losing? It makes zero sense. It makes no sense at all. And so, though I wanted to be upset and I wanted to be frustrated and I wanted to be mad, I was like, okay, I got to get to the point of being officially unbothered. It's hard. It's hard when you know that the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Like when you know he is he is out for blood. It's hard to not respond to the flesh because see, and y'all know I try to be very open, honest, humble, and transparent. It's hard to not cuss somebody out. It's hard. It can be difficult, especially when they keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. It's hard to be like, all right, like when I see you, it's on site. And I'm open, I'm honest with you guys. That's difficult. It's not easy. It's not easy. When you come on, say hello, let me know that you are here, my baby, my loves, and make sure that you share and you like and all that good stuff. But it's hard. It can be difficult. because I want to respond in the flesh. Like you coming at me with the flesh, I want to respond back. But at what cost? At what cost? Why? So I can fall for the tricks and the schemes of the enemy? Like I have too much to lose. I've come too far. And so it's difficult to not respond, but it's worth not responding to in a negative way. And and it's not that you won't give a response, but it can't be of the flesh. It has to be of the spirit. And how you do that is through prayer. Now, I was convicted earlier today before getting on and doing this podcast. I was actually supposed to be on here at 1 p.m. Eastern. But like I said, I really needed to pray and I needed to get in God's presence before I got here because, like I said, it would have been too easy for me to come up here to be malicious and vindictive. It would have been too easy for me to come up here and to respond to the comments and the things that these women have said. But I was like, I'm not going to do that because this is about elevation, and God has put me in a position to be able to not only one teach, but to share my experiences with people while also letting them know that true healing, true forgiveness comes through the Lord. And I don't want to take advantage of that. And I don't want to be here and tell you to do something or give you advice on responding in a way that I know is not of God. And so I had to pray. And I prayed and I talked to God and I was like, okay, Lord, this is what I'm going to do. The topic alone I thought would be cringing. But then I said, you know what? It doesn't have to be towards the sinner because sin has no conscience. It just goes with the flow of the world. And like I said, it would be too easy to be upset with these women. But I'm not going to be upset with the women. I'm not going to be upset because they probably don't know that they're even being used. All I can do is pray for them. Now, I'm not going to lie. It's difficult. I ain't going to hold you up. I'm not even going to pretend like it's not. It can be difficult. Because again, open, humble, transparent, what I really want to do is stump you. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is pray for you. So, as I'm scrolling through social media today, God is dropping things on me. And one of the things that He dropped on me that led to the conviction is to love your enemies. Your enemy means to try and understand them and behave toward them as you would like them to do to you. And then Bible verse is Matthew 5:43 through 44. I'm only going to read this little part. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. And I'm sitting here, and when I saw that, I laughed because I was like, really? Really, Lord? Like, really, really? Really? I let these two people get very, very close to me, very close to my children, stayed in my home. Really? But okay, I'm expecting it. I can't be too surprised because I know that God is love. And to truly have a relationship with God is to understand that His ways are set the way that they are for a reason. Because we're all born sinners. We're all born sinners. And if any of us aren't careful, we have the chance and the opportunity of being used by the enemy. He comes to do what? Kill, steal, and destroy. He is on a mission to end your life from the time you are born into this world. He wants to end your life. And we know that the wages of sin, all sin, not some sin, all sin is death. The wages of all sin is death, including unforgiveness. And I really, again, had to sit back and think about this from a different perspective because I was like, okay, before you let these women take you into another day upset, angry, anxious, ready to fight, pray. And I sought prayer. I was asking others for prayer. Some people even had the feeling God had told them, you need to pray for Shantae. You need to keep LaShante on your prayer list. And when I did pray, God confirmed what I already knew, what I said the other day. These spirits are monitoring. And it's not the flesh, it's not the sinner, it's the enemy who brings sin. And so you're going to have to respond in a different way, or else you're going to end up in this loop-de-loop roller coaster and not progressing to where I want you to, where I want you to go, where I want you to be. I don't know if y'all remember, but we did an episode a few nights back with a guest, which was a very powerful, impactful episode with Miss Angela Reese Brooks. She came on here with the intentions of where we're going to talk about her book and infidelity in marriage, and God led it a different way. And on that episode, not only was myself and my co-host very, very vulnerable, not only was the guest very vulnerable, but we had other guests to come on. The floor was open for discussion. We had other guests to come on. And that night, that day, I had a very difficult day. It was very, very difficult. That day, I thought about just stopping and quitting the whole podcast, just leaving the love talk alone, because I had been going through things and situations that was very, very difficult. And the enemy has tried in every way to stop me, even to the point of attacking my health. He has tried in so many different angles and routes to stop me. Then he even brought in, like I said, women who I was close to stop me. But we have to get to the point of being unbothered. Because we know that when we step into the will of God that he has for our life, that's exactly what he is going to do. When he knows that you know who you are through God, when he knows that you know how God see you, when he knows that you're happy and you're joyful and you're singing praises to the Lord, he wants to stop you. He is coming to stop you. And he does not care who he, hi Denise, hi honey. The enemy does not care who he uses to stop you. It is easy to be upset and to be frustrated and to be mad at the flesh. It really, really is. It's easy to want to respond in a way that you're cussing somebody out. It really, really is. Because I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not even going to hold none of y'all up. The past week, I've had to go off on some people. This whole year, I've had to cut a lot of people off. But before I did, they knew exactly what was on my mind. I was convicted for that. I got a God butt whooping for that. But last night, like I said, when he tried to come for me again, when the enemy tried to send these same problems to my doorstep again, even after blocking these women, I immediately went into prayer and God revealed some things to me that had I did not know them or wasn't paying attention to them, In fact, if I wasn't paying attention to them, I would have fell victim to those same situations and problems again. And it would have been a never ending story until the enemy had gotten what he wanted out of it, which is to stop me, what God has called me to do with this podcast and other people's lives. And I'm not stopping. I'm here to stay. So on that note, girl, bye. Girl, bye. Boy, bye. You are not about to take me off my mission that God has me on. You are not about to distract me. You are not about to keep coming for me. It's not happening because I know who God has called me to be. And now I'm more confident on how to respond to your attacks. I'm more confident about it. And that's through prayer. That's through prayer and that's through forgiveness. And the forgiveness ain't got nothing to do with you, but it got everything to do with me and where I'm going. And where I'm going, all that negativity can't come with me. Where I'm going, all that the backstabbing cannot come with me. Where I'm going, the manipulation is not welcomed. And you need to know this for yourself. If you have people in your corner who make you uneasy, who gives you anxiety, who you're just not sure about, you need to start praying and ask that whoever is in your life that God removes. The situation and how he removes them people may not be as easy as you want them to be. Because trust me, I would have never thought I was going to be into it with these women the way that I were. I would have never thought that these women were would talk about me so badly. I would have never thought. I would have never thought. But they did. And then the flesh, I want to respond with my fist. And the flesh, I really want to cuss you out. But we cannot afford to let the enemy and his minions and his vessels throw us off track. We can't afford it. And even though they're being used, even though they are attacking you, no matter who they are. I don't care if it's a mother, your father, your sister, a best friend, whoever it is. I don't care who it is. Even though they are, you feel like you're being attacked by this person or this situation. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening to me. Remember that we are all born sinners. And at some point in time in our life, we haven't been right with God. And when we're not right with God, we're vulnerable to the attacks of the enemy to be used. And in most cases, and I can speak for myself, and I hope everyone else can be honest, I have been used. There was a point in my life where the enemy was using me. Different moments. It wasn't even just one time. This happened multiple times. So I can come to you and openly admit and say and be honest and transparent that I have been used. There's a movie and there's a line in the movie that goes, we just gonna have to accept the fact that everybody gonna get used. I can't think of the name of the movie. But she said, we're just gonna have to accept the fact that everybody in life is going to get used. But when it comes to being used from the enemy or God, who would you rather be used? Who would you rather be used by? It doesn't have to be a bad thing. Being used doesn't have to be a bad thing. In fact, when you're used by the Lord, I am at awe with what he's doing in my life. I am at awe with what he's called me to do in other people's life. I am at awe with who he says I am in him. And so, yeah, you're going to be used. You won't be able to avoid that. But I would rather you be used by God Again, it's difficult to not respond, especially in the heat of the moment. And if you respond out of your flesh, you're just human. We're all human. Ask God for forgiveness and keep going. Forgive yourself and keep pushing. But always, 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 always remember who you are in the Lord. And don't stop doing any of what you are doing, because the enemy sending distractions or people to throw you off of your game. That's exactly what he is going to do. We know one thing for sure and two for certain. Like I said, he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He wants us destroyed. He has a hit on your head. But you have to keep going. Perseverance. You have to keep praying. You have to keep praising, even in the times where it's difficult. And maybe you have an aha moment like I did last night. Like, hold on, this is not making sense, Lord. Help this make sense. But always, 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 always pray and ask God for direction. People are going to say they don't like you. There's going to be plenty of people that don't like us. Plenty. But this is not a popularity contest. They say they don't like me, but I'm unbothered. This is not a contest of popularity. I don't care that you don't like me. That's fine. I love you anyway. I'm praying for you. You go about your way. I'm going to go about mine. Some people got to be fed with a long wooden spoon. That means I'm going to love you from a distance. I'm going to pray for you from a distance. But you are not welcome to have a seat at my table. You cannot come in my home. You are not welcome to the events and the happy and joyous moments that I have in my life. You don't like me, that's fine, but I love you, but I'm going to love you from a distance. You stay over there. You stay in your lane, I'm going to stay in my lane. That's fine. You don't have to like me. That's all. That's cool. That's all well and good. But I'm not going to sit here and hate and bash on you. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm not going to give you my energy and my time with arguing with you and and me stepping out the will of God, doing what I know he doesn't want me to do because you're miserable or because you have nothing better to do or because you are falling vulnerable to the attacks of the enemy. You're letting him use you. I'm not going to let you and what you are doing or not doing pull me out of what God has called me to do. It's not happening. It is not happening. Like 50 Cent says, I'm laughing straight to the bank. I'm laughing straight to the bank. I'm going to keep laughing. I'm going to keep being joyous. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep moving forward. Because I know what God has called me to be. And not only do I know what he's called me to be, I know where he has called me to be. And so with that being said, I am not going to keep doing this back and forthness with you. At some point, we have to make a choice to make a choice. And you're either going to make a choice to keep entertaining the minion and the enemy and his goons, his minions, his vessels, the ones he sends out on a mission to destroy your life, or you're going to make a choice and choose God and to focus on him. It's not easy. It's not easy. I won't even lie to you and tell you that it is. It's not easy. It's so much easier just to cuss that person out. It's so much easier just to give them a whole piece of your mind and let them know how you feel. But at what cost? At what cost? Are they really worth you coming out the will of God? Are they really worth you stepping backwards? Are they really worth you having to go through that test again? Because you're going to go through that test again. You keep failing it, you're going to have to keep doing it until you pass it. Are they worth that? Are you or are you going to make the choice to be on the winning team? Those are things you have to think about before you respond. That test kept coming to me literally from Wednesday to yesterday. That test kept coming. Boom, 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 boom. And all the way up until yesterday, I was going to go off. I was going to snap. I was going to make a special exception and unblock these people because I want you to know exactly how I feel. But then I said, wait a minute. Hold on. This is going on for too long. This is too much. This is not okay. Lord, what do I do in this moment? And he revealed things to me that had he not revealed them to me, had I not been sensitive to the spirit and to what it is that God wants me to do, just to his voice, to his discernment, I would have missed it and would have let them take another day. I would have let them take in more time. And that is not something that I can afford to do. So if you want to hate, that's fine, but you can hate outside the club. You can't even get in. How you going to hate from outside the club? You can't even get in. So enemy, you can keep hating. You've been hated. You've been a hater. That ain't nothing new. You've been a hater. You have been a hater. And we know that as long as we're doing what it is that God wants us to do, that's exactly what you're going to continue to do, is hate. But you hate from over there. Because over here we're prosperous. Over here we're blessed. Over here we're joyous. Over here we're doing what it is that God has called us to do. Laughing straight to the bank. Unbothered. What is it? Our weapons will form against you, but they will not prosper. If you believe God to be who he is, which is a healer, a redeemer, a forgiving father, if you believe that God is who he is, know that any weapon formed against you will not prosper. And I don't care who's forming them. I don't care who's forming them. It will not prosper. It will not be so. And what God says will be, will be. It will come to pass. But the enemy, him and his goons, they can kick rocks. Because I ain't got no time, no space, or no energy to be bothered. I have no time and or energy to give you my energy or my time. You're not worth that. You are not worth me stepping out the will of God. I need you to know this and understand this. I love you. And I'm praying for you. I wish no ill will on you at all. But I can't mess with you. I can't deal with you. I see that. I realize that. God told me I was in a year where I was going to have to cut people off. And unfortunately, you are one of those people that had to be cut off. You can take that and do with it what you will. But for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. You have had as much of my attention as you're going to get it. And it's a wrap. It's over. Go ahead. Cry. Go talk about me if you want to. I don't care. But from today on, I'm unbothered. And I will see you at the bank. Me and the whole Love Talk podcast panel. Just don't say nothing when you get there. We good in these parts. I love y'all. Bye.